Well, to get the very latest, let's cross to our reporter, Catherine Norris-Trent, who is in Tel Aviv to follow the vote for us. Catherine, you're at one of the polling stations. Firstly, tell us, are people motivated to turn out to the polls for this the second time in a year?
Well, that is going to prove to be one of the big questions of this election eve. These are the second Israeli elections in 5 months. That's unprecedented in Israeli history because of the political stalemate after the last elections. Benjamin Netanyahu could not form a coalition with his partners and so dissolved the Knesset, the parliament here. So we're going back to the polls again. And the question of turnout is going to be crucial. How many Israelis will come out and vote again? Now, people I've been speaking to here this morning in Tel Aviv tell me it's really important that people do come out here. Tel Aviv, a very liberal, generally left-wing city. People here at the polling station already early in the day saying they've come out because they want to get Benjamin Netanyahu out. They want to put an end to his term in office. He's the longest-serving Israeli Prime Minister, and lots of people here say they've just had enough. But whether they will turn out and vote for parties that could form a coalition with Benjamin Netanyahu's adversaries is another question. He is known as an electoral wizard, and he's been working really hard, as all the candidates have, but in the run-up to this vote, he's been pulling out all the stops, really, to save his own political skin here.
An electoral wizard, perhaps, Catherine, but Benjamin Netanyahu, whether or not he gets re-elected, is still facing corruption charges.
Absolutely, and that is why the stakes are really so high in these elections. Benjamin Netanyahu is plagued by corruption allegations. He is facing charges in 3 different criminal corruption cases, and indeed pre-trial hearings are set to begin in just a month's time in October, whether he is re-elected Prime Minister or not. So that's pretty unprecedented. It's not clear exactly what would happen if he is re-elected as Prime Minister. Would he stand down? He said he won't, but we're in uncharted waters, really. He is facing allegations of corruption, and that's one of the reasons people here in Tel Aviv we've been speaking to say they just want him out. They've had enough of his years of impunity. Bibi, as he's known, though, by his supporters, does have many supporters, people saying he is the only man who can sail the Israeli ship safely through very choppy waters in the Middle East region. They say it's vital for their security that he is returned to office.
Now, of course, Catherine, you mentioned there the role a lot of the smaller parties may be playing in a future coalition, but the main challenger really to Benjamin Netanyahu in this vote is the former military man, Benny Gantz.
That's right. Benny Gantz, a former commander of the Israeli Defense Forces, is his main adversary. And he is the man who's been giving Benjamin Netanyahu the toughest challenge to his time in power for several years. Now, back in April, their two-party list tied at 35 seats each, a dead heat. And neither man could really form a coalition. So it is all going to come down to the coalition building here. Israeli politics is all about the horse trading after the elections because it's a proportional representation system. There are 120 seats in the Knesset, the Israeli parliament. You have to get over the magic number of 61 seats in parliament, and no party in Israel's political history has ever done so. So it will be about watching the numbers, crunching the numbers very carefully after this election, which is predicted to be very tight, to see who can form an alliance with the many parties running. There are 30 parties running in this election. Who will get over the electoral threshold? We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be all about the horse trading, the coalition building, and that could set to be very tricky indeed.
OK, Catherine, for now, thanks very much indeed. Catherine Norris-Trent there reporting for us live from Tel Aviv. Well, as Catherine